Imagine a team that for decades stood as a symbol of greatness, passion, and dominance in basketball. A name that echoed through arenas, striking fear into their opponents. That team was none other than the Boston Celtics. But even the mightiest dynasties faced their trials, and for the Celtics, their greatest test came with their fall from grace. Today, we'll revisit an epic journey filled with crushing defeats, unexpected comebacks, and a triumphant return to glory. This is the story of how the Celtics rose from the ashes to reclaim their place as the most successful franchise in NBA history. To understand their return to the top, we must first journey back in time, back to 2008, when the Celtics reached their peak. Led by the legendary Big Three of Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen, Boston captured the NBA championship by defeating their historic rivals, the Los Angeles Lakers. It was a victory that ended a 22-year title drought. The 2008 season was magical, defined by relentless defense and unmatched leadership. Yet what seemed to be the start of a new dynasty soon unraveled into a series of challenges and missed opportunities. Following their 2008 championship triumph, the years that followed were a roller coaster for the Celtics. In 2010, they found themselves back in the NBA Finals for a rematch against the Lakers. This time, however, the series ended in heartbreak as Boston fell in a grueling 7-game battle. The toll of injuries began to show. Kevin Garnett, the team's defensive anchor, struggled with persistent knee issues that limited his effectiveness. Paul Pierce, though still a potent scorer, couldn't carry the team on his own. And Ray Allen, once the league's most feared shooter, started to show signs of decline. By 2012, the Celtics were making one final push for a title. Under the guidance of head coach Doc Rivers, they battled through the playoffs, defeating the Atlanta Hawks and Philadelphia 76ers. But their greatest challenge awaited in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Miami Heat, a powerhouse led by LeBron James, Dwyane Wade, and Chris Bosh. Against all odds, the Celtics managed to take a 3-2 lead in the series. The TD Garden was electric, with fans ready to celebrate another finals appearance. But then, LeBron James delivered one of the most iconic performances in NBA history. In Game 6, he scored 45 points, grabbed 15 rebounds, and dished out 5 assists, extinguishing Boston's hopes of closing the series. The decisive Game 7 was a hard-fought battle. But the Celtics fell short, marking the end of an era for the team. What followed was a shocking twist for Boston fans. Ray Allen, frustrated after learning the Celtics had tried to trade him mid-season, made a controversial decision. He signed with the rival Miami Heat. For many in Boston, Allen went from hero to villain overnight. With Allen gone and Garnett and Pierce nearing the end of their careers, the Celtics struggled to remain competitive. By 2013, it was clear the team needed a complete overhaul. In the summer of 2013, the Celtics made a bold move that would define their future. Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Jayson were traded to the Brooklyn Nets in exchange for a mix of role players and, most importantly, a collection of draft picks. At the time, the trade was heavily criticized. To many, it seemed the Celtics were waving the white flag and entering a period of irrelevance. However, those draft picks would later become the cornerstone of the team's revival. The 2013-2014 season was predictably rough. The team won just 25 games, one of their worst records in years. Jeff Green emerged as the team's leading scorer, but he couldn't fill the void left by the Big Three. The Celtics also turned to a new head coach, Brad Stevens. A former college coach with no NBA experience, Stevens faced skepticism, but he quickly proved to be a savvy leader. Despite the struggles, the team's decision to focus on the future began to show promise. With the 6th pick in the 2014 NBA Draft, the Celtics selected Marcus Smart, a defensive-minded guard whose energy and toughness would soon become hallmarks of the team. While the wins didn't come immediately, the foundation for a brighter future was starting to take shape. The 2013 trade with the Brooklyn Nets marked the start of a new chapter for the Boston Celtics. Widely criticized at the time, the deal seemed to sacrifice the present in exchange for a gamble on the future. Yet, those draft picks obtained in the trade would soon lay the foundation for one of the most remarkable rebuilds in NBA history. With Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Jason Terry gone, the Celtics entered a period of transition. Brad Stevens, a young and promising coach from the college ranks, took over as head coach. His lack of NBA experience raised questions, but Stevens quickly demonstrated a calm, strategic approach that would guide the team through its most challenging years. The 2013-2014 season was as difficult as expected. The team finished with a dismal record of just 25 wins. Jeff Green emerged as the top scorer, but his efforts weren't enough to make the Celtics competitive. However, seeds of the rebuild were already being planted. In the 2014 NBA Draft, the Celtics selected Marcus Smart with the 6th overall pick. Known for his defensive grit and fiery competitiveness, Smart would soon become a cornerstone of the team's identity. The rebuild began to take shape in the 2014-2015 season when the Celtics made a trade with the Phoenix Suns to acquire Isaiah Thomas. Standing just 5'9", Thomas was often overlooked, but his heart and determination were unmatched. Thomas made an immediate impact. His scoring ability and fearless play reinvigorated the Celtics, propelling them to an unexpected playoff appearance. Though they were eliminated in the first round by LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers, it was clear that Boston was beginning to turn the corner. The following season, the Celtics continued to improve. Brad Stevens' system emphasized teamwork and defense, while Isaiah Thomas emerged as the team's leader and offensive focal point. The franchise's careful planning in the draft also began to pay off. In 2016, with one of the draft picks acquired from the Nets trade, the Celtics selected Jaylen Brown as the 3rd overall pick. A versatile wing player with elite athleticism, Brown represented the future of the franchise. The 2016 playoffs saw the Celtics reach the 2nd round, where they were eliminated by the Atlanta Hawks. Despite the disappointment, the progress was evident. Boston was no longer a team merely rebuilding. They were becoming a legitimate contender. The 2016-2017 season was a defining year for the Celtics, and in particular for Isaiah Thomas. Known for his clutch performances, Thomas became an all-star and finished 5th in the MVP voting. His fearless scoring, especially in the 4th quarter, earned him the nickname the King of the Fourth. Boston finished the season with the best record in the Eastern Conference, earning home court advantage throughout the playoffs. Thomas delivered several unforgettable performances, including a 53-point game against the Washington Wizards in honor of his late sister. However, the team's journey ended in the Eastern Conference Finals against LeBron James and the Cavaliers. Despite Thomas's heroics, the gap in talent between the two teams was evident, and the Celtics fell in 5 games. The Celtics faced a critical crossroads after the 2017 playoffs. While Isaiah Thomas was beloved in Boston, his injuries and physical limitations raised doubts about whether he could lead the team to a championship. In a shocking move, the Celtics traded Thomas to the Cavaliers in exchange for Kyrie Irving, a dynamic guard with championship experience. The trade was polarizing but underscored Boston's commitment to building a title contender. Meanwhile, in the 2017 NBA Draft, the Celtics used another pick from the Nets trade to select Jayson Tatum, a polished scorer with advanced skills for his age. Tatum made an immediate impact, showing flashes of greatness from the very beginning. The 2017-2018 season began with enormous expectations, with Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward joining the young core of Tatum, Brown, and Smart. Boston seemed poised to contend for a championship. Tragically, those hopes were dealt a devastating blow when Hayward suffered a season-ending injury just minutes into the first game. Despite this setback, the team rallied around their young stars. Under Brad Stevens' leadership, Tatum and Brown thrived, leading the Celtics on an improbable playoff run. They reached the Eastern Conference Finals, where they pushed the Cavaliers to a decisive Game 7. Though they ultimately fell to LeBron James once again, the series highlighted the enormous potential of Boston's young core. As Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown began to mature, the Boston Celtics started to show glimpses of greatness. The young duo, under the steady guidance of Brad Stevens and supported by a revamped roster, began carving out their place in the NBA. However, the road to success was anything but smooth. The 2018-2019 season began with enormous expectations, with Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward returning to full health. Alongside Tatum and Brown, the Celtics were considered strong contenders for the NBA title. Yet, the season proved to be a roller coaster. While the team's individual talent was undeniable, chemistry issues plagued the roster. Kyrie Irving's leadership style came under scrutiny, as his communication with teammates often led to tension rather than unity. Despite these challenges, the Celtics advanced to the playoffs. After an initial sweep of the Indiana Pacers, they were eliminated in the second round by the Milwaukee Bucks, led by MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. The disappointing finish marked the end of Kyrie Irving's time in Boston, as he opted to leave the team during free agency. To replace Irving, the Celtics signed Kemba Walker, a talented and respected point guard with a reputation for being a positive locker room presence. Walker's arrival brought a renewed sense of optimism, while Tatum and Brown began stepping into more prominent roles. During the 2019-2020 season, Jayson Tatum emerged as a legitimate star. He earned his first All-Star selection, dazzling fans with his scoring prowess and clutch performances. Jaylen Brown also made significant strides, showcasing his versatility on both ends of the court. When the COVID-19 pandemic forced the suspension of the NBA season, uncertainty loomed. Months later, the league resumed play in the controlled bubble environment in Orlando, Florida. The Celtics quickly found their rhythm in the bubble. They swept the Philadelphia 76ers in the first round of the playoffs and defeated the defending champion Toronto Raptors in a thrilling 7-game series. In the Eastern Conference Finals, they faced the Miami Heat, a team fueled by Jimmy Butler's relentless leadership. Despite their best efforts, the Celtics fell short in 6 games, leaving them just one step away from the NBA Finals. With little recovery time after the bubble playoffs, the Celtics faced signals during the 2020-2021 season. Injuries, inconsistent play, and the departure of Gordon Hayward left the team struggling to maintain momentum. Tatum and Brown continued to shine, both earning All-Star selections. However, Kemba Walker's struggles with injuries limited his effectiveness, and the team's defensive identity began to waver. The Celtics barely made the playoffs through the play-in tournament, but were eliminated in the first round by the Brooklyn Nets, led by former Celtic Kyrie Irving alongside Kevin Durant and James Harden. The disappointing season prompted sweeping changes within the organization. Danny Ainge stepped down as president of basketball operations, handing the reins to Brad Stevens. In a bold move, Stevens transitioned from head coach to front office executive, appointing Ime Udoka as the team's new head coach. Stevens immediately began reshaping the roster. Al Horford returned to provide veteran leadership, while Derek White and Malcolm Brogdon were added to bolster the team's depth. Ime Udoka's arrival marked a turning point for the Celtics. Under his guidance, the team rediscovered its defensive identity, becoming one of the best defensive units in the league. Marcus Smart was named Defensive Player of the Year, and Robert Williams established himself as a dominant rim protector. Tatum and Brown, now recognized as one of the NBA's best duos, elevated their play to new heights. Tatum in particular delivered performances that solidified his status as a top-tier superstar. In the 2022 playoffs, the Celtics made a statement. They swept the Brooklyn Nets in the first round, a series defined by intense battles with Kyrie Irving and the Boston crowd. Next, they faced the reigning champion Milwaukee Bucks in a grueling 7-game series. Tatum's heroics in Game 6, where he scored 46 points to force a decisive Game 7, became one of the defining moments of his career. The Celtics advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they faced the Miami Heat once again. This time, they emerged victorious, securing their first NBA Finals appearance in over a decade. In the finals, the Celtics faced the Golden State Warriors, a team with championship pedigree led by Stephen Curry. Boston initially seemed poised for victory, winning the first game and leading the series 2-1. However, critical turnovers and the Warriors' experience proved too much. The Celtics lost the series in 6 games, but the journey provided invaluable lessons for the young core. After the heartbreak of the 2022 NBA Finals, the Boston Celtics entered the 2022-2023 season determined to learn from their mistakes and claim the championship that had eluded them. With strategic roster changes and a renewed sense of purpose, the team embarked on a journey of redemption that would cement their place in history. One of the most shocking moves of the offseason was the trade of Marcus Smart. A beloved figure and the defensive anchor of the team, Smart's departure left fans divided. However, the move brought Kristaps Porzingis to Boston, adding much-needed offensive versatility and size to the roster. Brad Stevens, now fully settled into his role as president of basketball operations, continued to make bold moves. The acquisition of Jrue Holiday was particularly significant. Known for his defensive tenacity and clutch playmaking, Holiday brought championship experience and leadership to the team. With these adjustments, the Celtics built one of the most balanced rosters in the NBA. Their starting lineup featuring Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, Jrue Holiday, and Al Horford combined offensive firepower with defensive excellence. Meanwhile, a strong bench, led by Derek White and Malcolm Brogdon, provided depth and reliability. From the outset, the Celtics demonstrated they were on a mission. Jayson Tatum, now fully established as one of the league's top players, delivered an MVP-caliber season. Jaylen Brown continued to excel as a dynamic two-way threat, while Porzingis and Holiday seamlessly integrated into the system. Boston's defense, anchored by Robert Williams and Holiday, returned to its elite status. On the offensive end, their spacing and ball movement made them one of the most efficient teams in the league. The Celtics finished the regular season with the best record in the NBA, securing home court advantage throughout the playoffs and positioning themselves as the favorites to win it all. The Celtics began their playoff journey with a commanding performance against the Miami Heat. In a rematch of previous playoff battles, Boston dispatched Miami in 5 games, showcasing their growth and focus. In the second round, they faced the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by Donovan Mitchell. Despite Cleveland's youthful energy and talent, the Celtics proved too experienced and disciplined, winning the series decisively. The Eastern Conference Finals brought a clash with the Philadelphia 76ers, featuring MVP Joel Embiid and James Harden. The series was a test of grit and determination, but Boston emerged victorious, propelled by standout performances from Tatum and Holiday. In the finals, the Celtics faced the Dallas Mavericks, a team driven by Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. The narrative was rich with intrigue, Boston seeking redemption, and Dallas fueled by its own quest for glory. Game 1 in the TD Garden set the tone, as the Celtics overwhelmed the Mavericks with relentless energy and defensive pressure. Tatum led the way with a dominant performance, securing a comfortable victory for Boston. Game 2 was a closer contest, with Luka Doncic delivering a masterclass. However, in the final moments, Jrue Holiday and Jaylen Brown made crucial plays to secure another win for Boston. As the series shifted to Dallas, the Celtics faced adversity. Kristaps Porzingis suffered an injury that raised concerns about their ability to close out the series. But Tatum and Brown stepped up, combining for over 50 points in Game 3 to put Boston one win away from the championship. The Mavericks avoided elimination in Game 4, with Doncic producing a historic performance. However, the Celtics returned to the TD Garden for Game 5, determined to finish the job in front of their home crowd. On the 17th of June, 2023, the TD Garden was electric with anticipation. From the opening tip, the Celtics played with unmatched intensity. Jaylen Brown, the model of consistency throughout the series, delivered a standout performance, while Tatum dazzled with his scoring and playmaking. Jrue Holiday's veteran poise and timely defense ensured that Boston stayed in control during the critical moments. When the final buzzer sounded, the scoreboard read 106-88, and the Boston Celtics were once again champions of the NBA. The 2023 title was more than just a victory, it was a statement. By claiming their 18th championship, the Celtics surpassed the Los Angeles Lakers and reclaimed their place as the most successful franchise in NBA history. Jaylen Brown was named Finals MVP, a fitting recognition for his leadership and contributions throughout the series. This championship marked the culmination of years of rebuilding, sacrifice, and belief in the process. Tatum and Brown, once seen as young players with potential, had grown into proven leaders capable of carrying the Celtics back to the summit of the NBA. With a young core and a deep roster, the future looked bright for Boston. The team's combination of talent, experience, and unity positioned them as a perennial contender for years to come. The 17th of June, 2023, is a date that will forever be etched in the history of the Boston Celtics. It marked the end of a 16-year championship drought and the culmination of a journey defined by perseverance, sacrifice, and resilience. In front of a roaring crowd at the TD Garden, the Celtics not only reclaimed the NBA title but also solidified their status as the league's most storied franchise. Jayson, Tatum, and Jaylen Brown symbolize the heart of this redemption story. Once regarded as promising young players, they matured into true leaders who embraced the weight of Boston's storied legacy. Tatum's blend of skill, poise, and determination elevated him into the ranks of the NBA's elite. His ability to perform under pressure made him the face of the franchise and an inspiration to young athletes worldwide. Jaylen Brown, meanwhile, proved to be a consistent force on both ends of the court. His leadership, work ethic, and clutch performances earned him the Finals MVP title, cementing his place among the league's greats. Together, they formed a duo that embodied the grit and determination that defined the Celtics. Brad Stevens. Impact on this transformation cannot be overstated. As head coach, he laid the foundation for the team's competitive culture. As president of basketball operations, his bold decisions shaped the roster into a championship contender. From trading for Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis to bringing back Al Horford, Stevens' vision was instrumental in building a balanced team that could excel on both ends of the floor. His strategic moves restored the Celtics' defensive identity while adding offensive versatility, ensuring their dominance throughout the 2023 season. Winning their 18th championship wasn't just about adding another banner to the rafters. It was about reclaiming the Celtics' place in basketball history. By surpassing the Los Angeles Lakers in total championships, Boston reaffirmed its position as the standard-bearer of excellence in the NBA. The rivalry with the Lakers, one of the most iconic in sports, added an extra layer of significance to this victory. For Boston fans, it was a moment of pride and validation, solidifying their team's supremacy on the court and in the record books. This championship was not the end of the story, but the beginning of a new era. With Tatum and Brown entering their primes and a roster filled with talent and depth, the Celtics are well positioned to remain contenders for years to come. The addition of players like Derek White, Robert Williams, and Kristaps Porzingis ensures that Boston has the versatility and firepower to adapt to any challenge. Jrue Holiday's veteran leadership adds stability and experience, rounding out a team built for sustained success. The 2023 championship was more than just a victory. It was a testament to the power of perseverance, teamwork, and faith in the process. The years of rebuilding, marked by tough decisions and moments of doubt, culminated in a triumph that restored the franchise's glory. Defeating the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals not only secured the title but also silenced any remaining doubts about the Celtics' potential. It was a reminder that greatness isn't just about winning. It's about the journey, the sacrifices, and the resilience required to reach the top. The Boston Celtics are more than just a basketball team. They are an institution. Every player who has worn the green and white, every coach who has led the team, and every fan who has filled the TD Garden with energy has contributed to a legacy that transcends the sport. The victory in 2023 is a powerful chapter in that legacy, a chapter that celebrates determination, teamwork, and the unyielding pursuit of greatness. And now, the question is, what did you think of the Celtics' incredible journey back to the top? If you were inspired by this story, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Stay tuned for more, and may the legacy of the Celtics continue to inspire generations to come.